Well, this is a video I never thought that I would ever make. For those who are not familiar with this or new to the channel, this is my 1969 Camaro that I had custom built for me by a company down in Tulsa called Brand New Muscle Car. Absolutely love this car. Designed it from top to bottom. Picked out the drivetrain, which is an LT4 paired with an 8-speed 8L90. It's essentially the same power plant that's in a modern Z06, but it's all wrapped in a brand new Dynacorn body. Everything's custom from the wheels to the interior to the paint color, and it was a very long process. I started it August 2016, and when I started it, they put together all the preliminaries, what the cost is, what the time frame is going to be, and I was to make a long story short, I was told one time frame and one amount of cost, or one cost to build it, and what I received was completely different. I've voiced that a few times in my videos, but it's come time that trying to put this nicely. I'm gonna wash my hands with it. I love this car to death. There's things about it that I would change, but not very many. But when it just comes down to how much effort and time and money and so much, I don't want to say wasted, but not as expected, it's really crazy. For example, I had it down at Classics Plus for about 2 months. Well, not quite, it was a little over a month. And they were supposed to fix the fuel pressure issue and the electrical issue and the door issue. There's always an issue with these classic cars. No matter who puts them together, I've found, their word is only as good as, I guess, you're willing to take it. It's not. When I committed to this, I'm gonna start watching this thing. When I committed to this car, I was sold on that company's promise to be above anything I've ever experienced in this industry. I got the mic on, so hopefully you can hear me. But I've come to learn. Whoops, it's over here. That's not necessarily really the case. Meaning, I'm trying to put this nice because I don't want to make this video all about bashing them, because that's not at all what I'm trying to do. It's really not as expected. I've had to put so much more into this car than I should have for what I paid for it. I get asked a lot what I have into this car, how much it costs, all sorts of other stuff. And I've never answered those because it's probably fine. I've never answered those because it's kind of private, and it's not something I don't want to say I'm proud of. I mean, these cars, everybody knows these cars cost a lot of money to make, to maintain, to make perfect. And this one has cost so much more than what I had originally planned. I'll start washing. You guys can just listen to me talk. So, when you build a custom car like this, you can design everything. Like I said a couple of seconds ago, you can, like these HRE wheels, for example. I picked out the design, I picked out the color. These wheelwood brakes, they have a lot of different options as far as what you can choose. You can have like 6-piston, 4-piston, carbon ceramic, things like that. And to kind of I'm rambling here, but to make all this stuff just go away because I'm pissed off about the whole process is one thing, but I didn't think I would give up on this car like I am. I still don't want to, but at the same sense, I just want to I want to make one better than this. This is just Adam's wheel and tire cleaner that I'm using. All right, I'll just be transparent with you guys. I have invested a little over $300 and roughly $40,000 into this car. That includes everything that you see right now. That includes all of the rework that I had to do to it, from what brand new muscle car did or didn't do. That includes just everything. You know, it took 3 years to build this thing, and it's finally like pretty damn good. But I don't know, something about the process from start to finish just rubs me the wrong way. This thing's like 99% good to go right now. Whoever buys this car, which by the way, it's going to Bear Jackson. It's getting picked up probably in the next 2 hours. It's going to Bear Jackson Scottsdale if anybody has interest in it. But so, you know, when you're the one building the car, even when you're restoring a car, I guess, you know, you can only make it as perfect as you can, or as like you would trust the shop to. And I was just so like disappointed by the entire experience with the builder, that it tainted everything else. And that sounds silly, I know. It's like, oh, it's a car, you know, it's just fix it or work it on yourself. It's like, I don't have time. I got family, I got a job, I don't have the skill to be a mechanic. I just want to enjoy and drive the car. And the amount of effort I've had to put into it, and when I say effort, I mean like money, because again, I'm not the one doing the work. But this thing has like 1,200 miles on it, right? Out of that 1,200, I've put maybe 300 on it. So out of that, you know, 1,200 miles, I've put probably 300, and the other 900 has been test miles. You know, getting it how it should be. I want to be able to get the car, like the C1 for example. Classics Plus did a really good job fixing that thing up too, because that thing, as most classic cars, you know, you buy online or whatever, they're not always as described. Meaning, like, oh yeah, the guy's selling it, it's the best car ever. They put all this money into it, no stone left unturned, whatever else. It's all the same. People in this industry, unless you find like a SEMA car or something that a shop is willing to put their name on and back, and a reputable shop, not just any shop, because the guys that built this, they put their name on here and they warranty and then they do all this other shit, but they've left me out to dry on everything. I'm not gonna make this video completely about bashing them, but when I got this from them, I put about $30,000 into it, fixing things that they did, such as the suspension. This had some real crappy suspension that when it got to me, it was actually broken. All 4 corners were broken. There's a little yoke that this rod sits into, and all the bushings, or whatever you want to call those rubber things, I don't know why they would even use those, because it's not a good, it's not even a good, I don't know why they would do that. I put too much trust in these guys to build this car for what its value, you know, for how much I have into it, that I just trusted that whatever they did was right. And what I should have done is not do it, or do it through a local company, so I can keep an eye on it. But instead, you know, you get this car looks really good. Don't get me wrong, it looks really good. Look at that. It's an awesome looking car. It's just underneath, it's the mechanics, it's the bones of it. It's not right. That fuel issue was all because these guys put the wrong fuel pump, even though they swear up and down that it's the right fuel pump for the motor. It's the, you know, everything's right. We have a receipt for everything, but when I asked for the receipt for this to verify, somehow they don't have it. So I had to get a 4th opinion on it, which is where I got it from recently. And we elected to put a fuel regulator like deal in there that brings the pressure up from 44, which is what an appropriate amount is for an LS motor, up to about the 75, which is appropriate for the LT4, which is what's in here. So now this car's running pretty damn good. So then you got to ask yourself, or you're saying, hey Chris, why you got the car 99% how you want it, right? Why do you get rid of it now? You put $60,000+ after you got it into it, and it's like, well, it's a number of reasons. Like, they must have tightened that up. I'm biting my tongue on this because, like, for like third time now, I'm not trying to bash the people that built it, but I'm so disappointed at the final result and how much I had to put into it after the fact. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. August 2016, I'm laying in bed. I have this urge to just build a car, right? I've restored cars, I've modified them after getting them, and when you spend so much time fixing someone else's, non-finished project or just poorly done projects, that's what, in my opinion, that's what majority of the industry is for classic cars. You find shops, and they all claim to be, the better than the next shop, but I haven't found a shop that really impresses me. Their craftsmanship, their quality, like even Classics Plus, like those guys are really great. They've always had my back on things, and they helped me tremendously with this car after I got it from brand new muscle car. But I bring it to a tuner, and they find all these issues that Classics Plus either overlooked or missed or whatever. So I bring it back to Classics Plus to have them fix it, and it sits there for almost 2 months doing nothing. Granted, they're having personnel issues and they're tight on staff. I'm rambling. I've even forgotten what I said. I've lost so much sleep because of this car. Another reason why I'm selling it, because of that bad boy right there, that GT2. I'm not going to get into details on that, but that thing has cost me so much money per month. You can probably figure it out online with a calculator or something, but that's not a cheap car. Not a cheap car at all, and I didn't put down any money. I financed 100% of it. Porsche gave me a really good deal, I think because of our history, and also the local guys were able to help me out with it. But I got like extended terms, like almost twice as long as like their max. Meaning like, your Porsche does, let's say like 48 months finance. They bent over for me in order to make this deal happen. Why? I don't know. But that has completely stripped, a lot of my available funds, and I have other expectations that I am responsible for, and I've really just been stressing out over money because business is not going down by any means, but it's not increasing 15% like it has for the last 20 years. But we're working on that. So between the money and just like the complete and like utter disappointment I've had in this entire process, the only sign of hope that I got was when I brought it to CJ Tunes, and they were able to tune this thing 1,000 times better than that place down in Tulsa. And they had it for, Brandon Muscar brought it to this place, I think it was called like Cannonball Camaro. They had it for like 3 months. I don't know in what world it takes 3 months to tune a car. Especially considering the car drove like shit. I'd be doing 30 miles an hour. Not even kidding, I'd be in 8th gear. Gotta call this driver real quick. This thing's being picked up today, and he says he's gonna be late, but okay, so probably this evening sometime. Okay, not a problem. Just give me an hour heads up if you could. Okay, thanks, bye. So, as this driver is going to come, he's going to be later this evening now. I'm going to get this car all washed up because it's going on consignment at Park Unlimited, something. I'm sorry. It's a dealership in Washington who does consignment on classic cars. And they also work really well with Barrett-Jackson. So if this doesn't sell in the next month or so, it's going to be brought to Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale. Alright. I'm going to miss this car, but, you know, with the money I'm going to get for this thing, honestly, I can pay off my mortgage, hopefully, assuming I get roughly what everybody thinks I'm going to get, which, by everybody, I mean the dealership that's consigning it, the guys that help me repair it. Everybody thinks this car is worth a lot of money, and it is worth a lot of money. I put an unbelievable amount of money into this car, and I know y'all are probably thinking like, oh, it's so stupid to sell a car that you love and build and put this much money into just because you're experienced with it. But it's just like, I just want to wash my hands. I want to take that money, put it somewhere that it you know is better, like my mortgage. And I'll eventually build another one, you know? And when I do build another one, it's going to be through Straight Line Customs. That's the people that had this car for a week. They were able to not only fix my fuel issue, but fix my electrical issue. They fixed a dent that I have no idea how it got there. Had to happen at Classics during the month it was there sitting. I always put too much soap in these deals. This will be my last time washing this car. Sad. If I build when I build another one. Whoops. Let's get down here real quick. I would definitely do a mix between this and that white one that I had. If you remember, if you've seen those videos on that one, that car was so badass to me that. But that was, you know, that was the same thing. I was fixing someone else's work and someone else's car. I made it 1,000 times better, but still wasn't perfect. I wouldn't do the chrome around it. I'd probably do everything painted to match, meaning like the mirrors and the chrome bumpers, and I'd probably do flush mounted glass so I don't have this trim right here around it. I wouldn't do the wipers. These would be kind of modern style mirrors. These would be painted kind of like that white one. And I would simplify the drivetrain. This has that LT4 in it, which, don't get me wrong, is an awesome motor, and especially with what CJ Tunes has done to it. Where they've tuned it, and this thing drives honestly like a Z06. It's fast, it's very responsive. Talking myself out of selling it now. But it's gonna need another probably 10-15 grand just to make it right. And it's not how I want it. You know, the core of this thing, in my opinion, is not. I'm not getting my money's worth out of it. If that makes sense. So for like $330,000 that I have invested in this thing, I can get a brand new GT3. You get a Tesla or a Bentley or something that has a warranty and is built by a machine, and that's completely contradictory to what this car is all about. You know, this is custom, one-off. You know, it's not made to be perfect, but I don't know. I have high expectations. I know in everything, like in life and paintball and friendships and relationships, I have very high expectations. But I also invest a lot into everything: emotion, money, time. I respect this thing's all clear broad, so I can go down here and not have to worry about scratching it. Let me know in the comments below if you think I'm over exaggerating or overreacting, I should say, to everything. I probably am, but like Straight Line Customs, this was even loose. And I suppose I could have fixed it myself, but they find that stuff and they fix it. It's like car detailing. I spend endless hours detailing my own cars because nobody has the same expectations that I have or the same attention to detail. So I spend all the time and money and effort researching product, testing product. You know, I have a cabinet full of stuff behind me here that I've used, tried out, didn't end up liking. But do I trust someone else to have that same opinion? I don't know. Same thing with paintball. You know, there's 1,000 different paintball guns out there, and I notice every single detail on all of them. Some things I love, some things I hate, but I notice it. I don't know if all my videos, I try to keep things hush hush because I don't want David or Brand New Muscle Car to feel like they're being attacked. So I don't know how many of my videos, I don't think any of them really, I go much into detail about what went wrong with this car and this build. So I touched on it slightly earlier in this video. But let me touch on it one more time. Yeah, totally, I got off track like 20 minutes ago. So August 2016, I'm in bed looking at cars and talking to, you know, whoever about what I want to do and getting opinions and stuff. And I came across Brand New Muscle Car. Got in touch with them, and they promised me, you know, complete satisfactory. And he's a people person. He's a yes man. Super nice guy. Don't get me wrong. David's a very nice guy. But he's also a business guy. You know, he lies through his teeth, and I'm not saying that to be mean, but like I have conversations and emails and all sorts of other crap that show how, you know, this process is going to go and how much time it's going to take, how much money it's going to take. I was originally quoted $174,000 for this car. That's not bad for everything being brand new, considering what I paid for some of those other cars. I was all in. Not even a month into the build, I had already spent roughly that entire amount. You know, I don't expect the builder to upfront costs of things. Obviously, I got to pay for that. But if you're going to build a car, like, make sure, I mean, having it in writing doesn't matter because all my stuff was in writing, but pay attention to all the details. When I say I end up spending twice as much as I, because originally I'm not exaggerating. I mean that. It's quoted 174. I got about 330 into this, all said and done. And out of that 330, might be closer to 40,000 now. 40,000 was, no, it definitely is more than 40,000 because I got just David alone, or just Brand New Muscle Car alone, I think it was 274,000 is what I ended up paying for this. So about $100,000 over what he originally quoted me. And I get it, you know, he explained it to me. Sometimes things come up, everything's custom, so sometimes things are different. You know, it's literally $100,000 more expensive than what he thought. And this is his job too, right? He should know the cost and time frame of this. I think that he was just trying to sell the deal by saying, oh, it's going to take 9 months, $174,000 all in. It's like, I'd have 2 of these right now if that were the case, but it wasn't. So $274,000 got spent with David, and about another $60,000. Yeah, I know the prices keep going up. I'm just thinking about it out loud. About another $60,000 was spent redoing his work. So I had to pay his techs to install that suspension that had failed before it even got to me. But it passed their quality control tests. I had to pay to have frame rail connectors installed, which I know these rings didn't have them at the factory, but they do now because it's better for them. I had to pay to redo the 2-month-long tune that Cannonball Camaro did and charged me for. And it got done in a week, and it was done better. I had to pay to redo the exhaust. I had to pay to redo the brakes. I had to pay to redo the electrical intake. I had to pay to redo that. The entire serpentine system, the windows for the electronic power motors, I should say with them. The wheel I had to modify the brakes and have Hydro Boost installed because they just didn't work. There's so much that I had to pay to redo that it's tainted my experience and my desire to keep this car. I like this car a lot. I wish that this wasn't the case, but it is. And the Straight Line Customs, their shop is second to none here in Minnesota. I'm used to Classics Plus, and they have a really nice shop too, but it's not. You can't compare it to Straight Line Customs because this is just wet coat I'm spraying on here just to make it nice. You can tell a lot by the shop and the owner, but David sold me on his personality. But his personality is not the one building the car. There's even spots missed that Straight Line found right away. Like if you guys watched the Brandon Mustakar episodes, I should say, on Velocity, there was one whole episode where one of their guys was basically talking about seam sealing. The entire episode, half an hour episode. I bet the word seam seal was said. I said this to David too. I bet that was said no less than 50 times. And the importance of seam seal and how attention to detail these guys are. You wouldn't think that they would have missed any, but they did. So that I had to pay to repair. It goes on and on and on, and I'm just sitting here justifying why I'm selling this car that I have so much invested into, and it doesn't matter really. I'm selling it because I want to. I probably sound like a little bitch, like talking about this, like, oh, pity me. This car I spent so much money on is not worth it. Don't get me wrong, it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to warn you all, if you plan on doing something similar to this, really do your history or really do your research. And be aware that they could potentially cost you twice as much as you had planned and take 3 times as long as you were promised. Alright, main reason why I'm washing it is because I don't want to pay $500 to have the dealership that's consigning it wash it for me. I probably shouldn't even upload this video. I think Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale is their best event if you're gonna sell a car. I think it's their biggest. I'm pretty sure it's their hometown, their home city, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's where they're like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not stationed. It's like they're. I think this is where they're based out of. Scottsdale, Arizona area. I'm pretty sure that the classic car industry in that area is huge. You know, here in Minnesota, it's pretty big. Here also, you know, we have Back to the 50s and things like that, and there's dozens of, you know, hot rod shops around. But I think Scottsdale is where a lot of it's really happening. So what do you guys, I mean, I don't want to make this, again, video all about ranting and justifying why I'm selling this dream car of mine that I've wanted since I was, you know, a little kid and first into cars. I don't know what drew me to this, but I've always liked the first gen Camaros like this. And it's been a dream to build one and own one, as much as it's been a pain in the ass and a nightmare. But, you know, having this, you know, as a representation of what it can be it's pretty remarkable what people can do. Because this isn't, you know, built in a machine shop. I suppose the body is, and everything else, you know, is made by hand. All right. Yeah, see, those guys made everything better. That's why I want to use them when I build another one. Straight line customs. Like the way this door is opened up, it's never opened up that nice. And they had it again for a week. You know, it's not like they took the thing apart and replaced things. They just made it right with very little effort. And I'm gonna miss this car. That's what I was gonna say. What do you guys think I should do for the next one? What color? I don't think I'm gonna go classic like what this one is. I'm gonna clean his windows here in a bit. Some water came through. Somebody's drying it off. By that I mean, again, the chrome around the windows here. I don't think I'm gonna do stripes. You know, these like black stripes that are on the hood and the trunk. I think I want to do just one color. I thought about. I really liked how badass that white one looked with that matte finish. I thought about doing that route, doing like a matte paint, but I want to be able to clear bra it because I'm super OCD about, you know, imperfections and flaws. I don't want to get a rock chip, and that, you know, that'll keep me up at night. That's why all these cars over here are clear brad. Look at this engine bay. All this stuff was redone. Everything in here was basically retouched. The brakes, the fuel pressure, this radiator was installed upside down from brand new muscle car and way low. So when the air was going in, you know, through here, it was hitting like 10% of the radiator. And the fluids were all going to the wrong side. You know, it's oh my God, I don't want to keep on ranting about this. I just had a bad experience building this car and fixing what shouldn't have ever needed to be fixed. And I'm letting it get to me. Look at that air intake. That was all custom and redone. There was a 3-inch pipe coming right off of here, and it would stop right here. And it got almost no air because everything's blocking it. So instead we plumbed it through here, and it's behind this fender wall, getting air through the headlight. Air comes right down through here. I like these wheels. That was one good thing about these wheels. That these are like $10,000 wheels or something like that. And Dave was able to give them to me for like $5,000. I don't know if he paid for half of it or if he just found a dealer that was willing to sell at a discount to make it happen after he told him about the project or whatever. But these are really sweet wheels. HREs are just awesome. The suspension on this thing, and honestly, I was telling my dad when we were dropping it off here the other day, it drives like as comfortable as, like, you know, those Porsches and stuff on the highway. I got up to like 85 and there was not a, you know, it didn't skip a beat. It just drove. I'll also add too, like, I don't know if some of it's just the nature of the beast, but CJ Tunes found axle bolts that were loose, and that explains why at one point this thing was not the most comfortable ride. It would shimmy, and, you know, the steering wheel would shimmy. I mean, tighten those up and seem to change everything. Should have blew these wheels off first. The blower. Oh well, that guy's gonna be later, so let's come back and touch it up with the towel here. He's closer. Brand new muscle car did a really good job making this car look good. The interior looks awesome. The paint work was pretty flawless. Straight Line pointed out a couple flaws to me. But, you know, it's nothing that I couldn't live with, you know. As anal as I am, it's not bad. Look at this interior. That's so clean. This thing is pretty clean already. I'm just gonna basically dust it. Do some glass cleaner on it in a bit. I hope this thing gets a pretty penny at Air Jackson. It's worth it. It really is worth it. Actually, I hope it sells before Bear Jackson, so I don't have to pay all that commission. If y'all don't know how Bear Jackson works, you pay the seller and the buyer both pay to Bear Jackson a commission, a percentage of the sale. The buyer pays, I think, like 10% or something like that. Seller pays, I think, 20%. It's crazy. What a deal, huh? But you're not going to have the car marketed any better, and it's guaranteed to sell if you don't have a reserve. But it's a gamble as to how much. All right, well, I'm going to conclude the video here. Got to head home. The driver's going to be back in a while. Or he's not going. I shouldn't say back. He's not going to be here for a while. So I gotta bail, and I'll come back here in a little bit. So I'm gonna pick back up when I do that. As we're just talking plans on what we're gonna do here. Ideally, I know I've said this in videos in the past, but ideally we'd like to take down this entire wall. These, 4 panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and mirror this entire facility on the other side of the wall, plus expand it about 1,500 square feet to the north. So that's what we're just discussing right now. I did do some plowing over here. Still waiting for the guy to come. So what we can get done here. The problem is that there's like 2 inches of ice underneath this snow, and it's really wet.
Well, here's the chuck.
It's about 35 degrees out here right now, so snow's kind of melting, but all right. This is gonna be sad. I never thought that I would ever sell this car, but you know, I got nothing. So I'm gonna go say hi to this driver real quick. So I'm gonna have to drive the Camaro, which is perfectly clean right now, because I didn't want to pay $500 and have the dealership clean. Did you know that they charge me that $500 to clean that C2?
Clean it?
Yeah.
It's clean already.
I know. So I told the guys, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, super anal, and I keep my cars clean all the time. So I cleaned this. Well, you saw the video almost 2 weeks ago, waiting for this dude to show up. So, but now we got pissed on by snow, and to have to drive through all this crap to get into that trailer. So I'm sure he's gonna want to come here and inspect it first. Now it's in heated room, so this is sad. It'll be okay though, right? GT2.
I gotta move the car.
That's okay.
Move your car in.
And come on in where it's heated like Mother Nature intended.
Do whatever you need to do.
This is the driver. He's just inspecting the car right now. Bring you guys over to the important stuff, like the meeting, because this is the sad stuff.
Start tomorrow.
We'll move it next week.
Yeah, I got one of these laying in the garage. Put it in the warehouse.
Just blow it up, right?
Yeah.
Like the inflatables. But I mean, that's kind of it. We'd move that pipe.
Yep.
We'd relocate that area.
Yeah,
Exhaust
I would.
over to here.
Yeah, and we may. Let's just say we may have to add another one. You know, because
To move there.
Yeah, the
We
HVAC.
have a 2-year shelf life on the sensor.
Really?
It was put in 2013. I'm an old engineer, so I figured that out. So I just bought the new components and rebuilt it.
Ours is,
And now it's just good to go.
I should check ours. Ours has been in since 1999.
Yeah, they say about 2 years life expectancy, depending on usage. And with just board replacements, it's pretty.
So that's what I would anticipate is that it's. Well, it's interact with that. So and it's just based on volume.
I was working on that.
So Christopher, you know, we want to get going on this real quick.
Yep.
But, just for concept, you like the either of those 2 rooms?
I think it could work.
Washer and dryer, snacketeria.
How wide is this?
Well, we would fill up this area here and have that open. You know, so you drive.
As long as it's not very much of a pinch between this corner and that corner.
I don't think we would ever drive through that physically. You drive the cars out.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
It's 10.5 by. It's 10.5 by 10 feet.
That is. So if this is 50 feet,
Yeah.
10 by 40, you see, that'd make a big snacketeria.
If you run it all the way.
Well,
Oh,
no,
50, yeah. If you leave 10 feet there, you
yeah, that'd be just a 10-foot portal.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we would probably put a indoor grill in there,
Yep.
you know, for cooking and stuff.
Big that up.
Yeah, vent that out. Refrigerator, that kind of stuff. I
We're
know
looking-
this is insequential down the line, but I mean that would be what we'd want to see in there.
Yeah, we want to dump in and we'll make sure we got the services that we'll get.
Yep, and then we would fine tune that as we're getting close, and you know, get some allowance for appliances and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, I'm excited. And then for sewer now, how we.
You saw some little scratches in the clear bra, but
Take a look at that.
that's minor. That just takes a heat gun or a little bit of sunlight and it'll go away. They found some rub marks on the plastic spoiler in the front. Like here, it was just cleaner. So he's gonna move around some cars, and we'll all listen to this thing start up for the last time. Sad. Outside?
No, before he gets to Washington.
Hopefully not.
think that's why he's moving cars to it more towards the front.
Yeah. All right, just concluded our meeting with Mike, who's going to help us. Was he supposed to take any of that?
Oh yeah. Here, you want to catch him real quick?
That was his glasses or yours?
You need to bend that box off for him. He's gonna take that.
My glasses. Thanks, Pubes.
So we're just discussing, what'd you call it, the preliminary ideas and what we want.
Yep.
Right now the thought is to, again, expand this entire area by 2, and then we're thinking about we can even, kick it out north a little bit, about 2,000 square feet, but we'll find out. It's all gonna come down to whether or not we need a sprinkler system. See what we can do. So the guy's moving around cars right now. We're just waiting for him to finish up with that. And we'll say bye to the Camaro. Sad?
Yo.
Sad?
Sad?
Yeah. See it go?
Well, it was a good project. It was
Yeah.
a project car, that's for sure.
Little bastards. I'm over it.
Expensive.
It was supposed
Pick
to
up
be
this too.
shot today.
One final ride.
So many more stops, or you're heading right out to Bellevue from here?
I get a stop off in Colorado, Montana,
Oh, a few more stops?
then I'll go to Bellevue.
Gotcha. All right. Lot of work to make it go bye-bye. What's that? I'll follow you. There goes Christopher's baby. Sad. Poor little commander. Squeaking away. It's a good little project. Maybe build another one someday. There she goes. And she goes. Reliable carriers. See ya, Camaro. Love you. God bless. Take care of yourself. Do yourself proud at the auction. Bring the big bucks. What kind of big bucks, Chubbs? Whatever it is. There it is, almost tucked away. I don't think Christopher wants to get out. He's gonna stay with his vehicle and ride all the way to Bellevue, Washington. Big ass truck. Holy shnikes. Tail lights work. Brake light work. Man, look at the meats on that thing. It's a good little commender while it lasted. See ya, baby. God bless. Take care of yourself. Don't get beat up too bad. Sad. There's the fur.
Sad.
Nice little narration. God bless. Here you go, fur.
Thanks.
Alright.
Alright, Camaro.
Sad.
It's been real. Had potential. But the guys that built it, forget it.
What else had he got in there?
I don't know, they're all covered up.
You got the both keys?
They're all in there.
Got your
It's
paperwork
on the
over
box. Everything that belongs with it is in there.
Gotcha. Alright, fur.
Alright, there she goes.
See ya.
See you on the Bear Jackson.
You get some guy
Scottsdale
bidding on
auction.
it, it sounds like a knot up. Don't worry about it.
Someone's gonna get a really good deal on this car.
I know they are.
She'll smooth. What's up? Yeah.
I really like the way you guys did the wheels on this one.
Yeah, those are custom HRE ones.
Well, a lot of guys get them too tight.
Yeah.
Slightest way.
Yeah. Yeah. This has room to drive. Thank you.
Thanks.
Alright, as I was saying, it's like 95% there. See how smooth it sounded and stuff?
Yeah, let's take it back.
Just take it back, it's not too late. No, it'll be alright. The money will be used elsewhere.
You still got some stuff left in the toy box though, right?
I think there's some stuff in there.
Alright, what do you think how that building will look?
I think it's gonna be sweet. So the plans from here, it's gonna be, yeah, so again, double the width. So to come, way out here. No doors on this side, but it's gonna be a good sized building. Take up this whole slotch of,
We'll do that same type of fascia,
yep,
so all that'll match.
and Pew's shoveling.
I think it'll look good.
Yeah, same. So that's our project. I'll film that for everyone who's watching and who cares.
Yeah,
I'll film the process of the building.
I mean, it won't be that much of an expense.
Yeah. Yeah, it costs probably about half of as much as
I'm
that car
guessing about
costs.
$60 a square foot.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, so I'm gonna end this here. Sad day, Camaro's going away, but it's bittersweet at the same time. You all know my history or my feelings on it, so. Alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks.
Good.